Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Jujutsu Kaisen. Unlock the 8 secret arts at the start. Chapter 46. Bang. With the power to tear everything apart, Benquan brazenly bombarded the face of the desolate fox. Null. Boom. With this punch, the head of the fox's face instantly exploded into blood mist. The white and the red ones exploded right now. The power of Yulin floated again, annihilating all the filth. With a casual flick of his palm, Ryueki glanced around quickly. Where can you go if the account is not broken? Hulala. The powerful suction exploded on Ryueki's body. The curse power of the fox face was quickly swallowed by 6 immortal thief treasury. This kind of takeaway delivered to your door is really happy. The figure of the 9 ghosts evaded crazily in the black mist. His jujutsu is the soul reserve jujutsu who can split the soul. Able to absorb the souls of ordinary humans and split their own souls. The absorbed ordinary soul can be stored as a curse. However, a large amount of modeled curse power does not improve his combat power, but it allows him to continuously obtain curse power, just like carrying a large power bank. His jujutsu attack can be used directly. Jujutsu drowns a person's soul. But, as long as he shows the power of the spell, he won't be swallowed directly by Ryueki. So after the death of the fox face, he could only choose to flee. Damn fox noodles. I usually look like a lofty genius. What a waste. Jujutsu is just like an idiot. You really killed me. The current 9 ghosts no longer think about revenge or rights at all. The fox face was shattered by the beating head in front of him, and even a few traces of his brain splashed on his body. Only then did the 9 ghosts find out. Everything is so trivial before death. Everything before cannot be called a battle at all. It was clearly a slaughter. In the face of the absolute power gap, Kuki couldn't even raise the slightest heart of resistance, just thinking about being able to avoid Ryueki's sight. The tent that had been pushed outside was destroyed, and then escaped and ran to a place where no one found. Continue to live a normal life of nothing to kill and torture the soul. The outside world is too dangerous for an ordinary curse teacher like him. He hides in the darkness, like a mouse. The curse power turns into tentacles, perceiving everything around him. Once there is any disturbance, he is ready to split the soul directly, destroy the 8 remaining souls of himself, and can run out one by one. At this moment, abnormal. A big hand suddenly appeared in front of the 9 ghosts. Silent, as if appearing out of thin air, without any fluctuations in curse power, even his tentacles were completely unaware. But that slender palm really appeared in front of his eyes, with an unstoppable force of terror. It was firmly grasped on his head. The cat and mouse game is over. The young man's voice did not carry the slightest human emotion, like a cold wind, freezing the whole body of the 9 ghosts. Off book. Cher held a can of unfinished beer in his hand and sat on the sand, looking with interest at the account that covered his company in front of him. He smashed his mouth happily. Hey, it makes you so lazy, so exercise. She took a sip of beer and wiped the corners of his mouth indiscriminately. The sparse beard was growing on his chin in a disorderly manner. He brushed his chin with his hand, and his beard fell off as if shaken by some kind of force. He has felt it since someone coveted this ocean view villa, and he didn't believe that his nominal boss hadn't noticed it. I'm not lazy. I just ask the boss to exercise. It's very caring, right? Click. Shire looked at the man stepped under her feet, as if asking the other person's opinion. And the man was trembling and couldn't say a word. Under Shir's feet, his whole body trembled. Why, Zenin Shir, this monster, will be here. Why? The man came to find the meaning of Ryueki. With the help of the man in black, he and the proprietress came to Shan's, but he didn't expect that the bitch of the proprietress would actually run to find Casey. Dibin didn't expect what that woman could do. Self-consciously inquired. The house of everything in Ryueki is very famous in the small place of Shan's. Almost 80% of abnormal situations are handled here. After finding the house of everything, D did not act the first time, but thought about how to communicate with Ryueki. But I didn't expect it. As soon as he was thinking about speaking, he ran into Shire, who came out of the room and planned to have fun. Before joining the House of All Things, Shir could be said to be in the Jujutsu world, which is not visible. Naturally, he recognized that the wretched guy in front of him was a member of the dark world. And unfortunately, as soon as the two met, the tent was raised. This will inevitably make Cher misunderstand that everything is the ghost of this guy. He didn't listen to the explanation at all, and the one who divided by two was pressed to the ground. Dee's strengthened body, without even the slightest resistance in front of Shire, was trampled under his feet. Click. The corpse of 9 ghosts was like a dilapidated toy, and was thrown on the ground indiscriminately, with blood flowing all over his body. The Kuki, who relied on Jujutsu to do whatever they wanted, had no resistance at all when faced with monsters like Ryuiki. And the plan he originally wanted to execute, the plan to split the soul and escape, didn't even have the slightest room for action. Because at the moment he was discovered, Ryuiki penetrated his body directly. 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is operating at full capacity. 9 ghosts are like a large power bank, continuously contributing to Ryuiki the curse power he has stored over the years. This really gave Ryuiki no small surprise. I originally thought that although these two guys could add to their progress, they probably didn't have much. But what I did not expect is, there is so much curse power hidden in the body of the 9 ghosts. Although this curse power is modeled, its qualities are different. But the number of wins is huge. Speaking of the amount of curse power alone, it was almost equal to half of the curse power provided by the 8-pointed snake. And 6 Immortal Thief Treasury has reached the status of great success. The swallowing speed is no longer comparable to before. Now Ryuiki, the power swallowed into the body can be digested almost instantly. On the system panel, the progress of 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is skyrocketing at a speed visible to the naked eye. 80%, 81%, 91%. Although the pace of progress is much slower than before, there is still no stopping the posture. It is still growing steadily. This made Ryuiki feel a little bit involuntarily. 9 ghosts and Fox Mian are really their own lucky stars. Not only let himself come to swallow the 8-headed snake. Now it is not far away to give people away. The progress of his 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is almost full. If it weren't for them, it's estimated that a 6 Immortal Thief Treasury would have been stuck on his own for several years. Good person. Ryuiki couldn't help but sigh with emotion thinking of what Toro would do for herself. Finally squeezed out all the curse power the 9 ghosts had stored over the past few decades. The progress of 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is only 3% short of being able to withstand 100%. A gleam of light broke out on Ryuiki's chest. Instantly annihilate the body of the 9 ghosts. No trace was left. At the same time, a touch of emerald green also emerged from the divine machine and slowly landed on Ryuiki's palm. A vivid human head is carved on the jade pendant. This object is the cursed object that Ryuiki took out of the body of the super cursed spirit in the supermarket in Osaka earlier. Hidden inside are extremely magnificent curses and curse. Previously, when he digested the curse of the 8 different big snake, he couldn't call 6 Immortal Thief Treasury, and he hadn't swallowed the cursed power of this cursed object. But right now, only one kick can unlock the next stunt. Ryuiki did not hesitate at all. Grab this Kuiu directly. 6 Immortal Thief Treasury, running like crazy. Boil oh boil. Oh oh oh. There were bursts of ghosts crying and howling wolves, weirdly resounding in the room. This sound was like the appearance of a Rakshasa, and like an evil ghost coming to the world. Why are you cruel? Ah, you said you want to marry me. I am pregnant for you in October. You are so to me. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. How can you fail me? How can you fail me? The sound seemed to be superimposed on countless human screams, and it seemed that all the lamenting women in the world were crying in it. The surrounding walls glowed with weird green light. One by one, slender and pale palms came out from all directions, clinging to Ryuiki's body one after another. The palms were cold and wet, without the slightest temperature. In the pale, like countless women, lamenting why his lover is so ruthless. The woman's voice seemed to be squeezed out between her teeth, with deep bitterness and madness. It kept ringing in Ryuiki's ear. Ryuiki sat on the sofa, holding the jade in his hand, facing everything with no expression on his face, his eyes half closed. The curse power hovered throughout his body, the blue of divine armament 100 refinements, and the brilliance of 6 immortal thief treasury continued to converge on his body. Isolate all the weird surroundings. Wow. Ah. You don't love me. Just let me go. Don't love me. Just let me go. Under the faint blue and bright, the palms of Ryuiki's body were like candles in the wind, all of them vanished. The woman's voice became extremely painful and terrifying. Everything around began to change constantly. On the walls, ceilings, floors, and chandeliers, countless long black hair emerged out of thin air. Entangling everything, the long black hair, with bursts of viscous blood, makes everything look so terrifying. Long hair is like a venomous snake, hovering over everything. Except for the sofa where Ryuiki was on, everything here was overwhelmed by the long hair. Become a sea of death. 99%. 99%. 100%. Base. 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is complete. The third stunt is unlocked successfully. A mechanical voice rang in Ryuiki's ear. Woo. Bad guy. A bummer. Men are all liars. Damn them. Damn you too. Damn. In the room, the woman's bitter voice became the only melody. Long black hair hovered in every corner of the room, and a pair of slender hands were faintly visible in the air. Ryuiki sat cross-legged on the sofa, under this hell-like scene. He was at ease, as if all this had nothing to do with him. Whether it's a terrible cry or long dark hair, none of this seems to affect this man anymore. He sits in it, like the master of this ghost realm. If that curse is the source of all treacherous creations, so Ryuiki is now the master of all curse. His eyes opened slowly, revealing those moon-white eyes that looked like a bright moon. Seeing everything around him, there was a flash of excitement in his eyes. FK. FK. Take your life. Take your life. Oh oh oh. As Ryuiki's eyes opened, a woman's figure slowly appeared in midair. Her whole body was wet and bloody, and her face was covered by long black hair all over her head. Countless palms flared their teeth and claws around her, and her long black hair hovered around her like a poisonous snake. Through the layers of black hair, the pair of resentful eyes stared at Ryuiki in front of him, as if looking at a negative person. The resentment almost condensed into substance, falling from the corner of her eye. What a strong curse. This is the curse on the jade. Ryuiki played with the jade in his hand. The sculpture of the human head on it has become extremely blurred with the appearance of curse. Cur. Naughty. I said, you are also a special grade who doesn't know how long it has existed, so you won't only say such a word. Ryuiki stretched out his hands helplessly. A cursed spirit keeps repeating something in front of you. The ordinary jujutsu teacher may have been scared to pee. The cursed spirit, which can express its own language completely and clearly, is one of the best even in the special class. After all, this is a special grade cursed spirit that has been around for a long time. A superb batch with obvious wisdom and perfect human form. But Ryuiki is obviously no ordinary person. Constantly listening to the woman scream in her ear, Ryuiki showed some impatience on his face. The long hair and palms that were constantly trying to attack Ryuiki were blocked by the dim light radiating from the divine machine. But the gloom at this moment is far less bright than before. Already, that faint blue began to dim continuously. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Feeling that the power that blocked her was about to dissipate, the black-haired cursed spirit looked unusually excited. She roared and waved her hands. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Go. Go. The long dark hair in the whole room seemed to be mad, dancing irregularly. In the midair, it condensed into a giant wave, and pressed down hard against Ryuiki. Wow. Rumble. It deserves to be an antique. The magic power stored by the magic machine has been exhausted. In the face of such a crisis, Ryuiki is still so unhurried, as if nothing in this world can shake his mind. Badger. Die. Following that, cursed spirit let out a bleak scream. The huge wave fell abruptly, and the long black hair that seemed inexhaustible, instantly submerged Ryuiki, and even the whole room was stirred frantically. Pong. Pong pong. Negative. Negative man. After a long time, the black wave subsided, and the cursed spirit seemed to calm down, constantly talking about her obsession. The desolation in the voice cannot be concealed anyway. It seems that I did not feel the slightest joy because of killing the bad guy of Ryuiki. Love is the biggest curse in the world. A voice suddenly rang in Cursed Spirit's ear. Ah, unhappy. The cursed spirit became violent again. The black tide stirred crazily again, as if wanting to make a comeback again, but the next moment, an eternal night darker than darkness suddenly bloomed. That Yongyi represents the end of everything. It also represents all the unknown haze. With the appearance of the eternal night, the originally violent cursed spirit instantly stopped the movement of the body. Everything around was as if the pause button had been pressed. The black wave no longer rolled, and the slender palm no longer appeared. The cursed spirit floated in the air blankly. Endless Yongyi kept climbing on her body. Ryuiki looked at the cursed spirit who was quiet in front of him, and moved his left fingers together. The mysterious aura slowly radiated from his body, and the root of the endless eternal night radiated from Ryuiki's fingers together. Ji Yu Ling. Ryuiki snorted softly. The gesture suddenly changed, and in an instant, Yongyi, which had clung to the cursed spirit, quickly crawled all over the cursed spirit. The black breath began to invade the cursed spirit's body continuously. Send General. Ryuiki quickly closed his hands, and black Yongyi broke out in an instant. In the cursed spirit's whole body, countless black chains faintly appeared, with mysterious runes, quietly reclusive. Wow! The cursed spirit began to converge everything around him, and the long black hair faded away like a tide. After a long while, Ryuiki landed on the sofa again. In front of him, the cursed spirit, who was not alive just now, was as clever as a pet. Without cursed object, I almost overturned. Ryuiki once again played with the jade in his hand, which is the cursed object of the cursed woman cursed spirit. Dispatch of detained spirits can master all cursed spirits. Become your own puppet, suppress the cursed spirit's consciousness, and completely obey the user's commands. It stands to reason that the dispatch of detained spirits that Ryuiki just unlocked is far from mastering this ancient special class, but because this special class has been sealed for too long, so that the consciousness has not fully recovered, and his root cursed object is still in Ryuiki's hands. By directly controlling the cursed object, he bombards the already vague cursed spirit will. Suppress it in an instant. The whole process seems simple, but in fact it is extremely dangerous. This kind of ancient curse, even Ryuiki is difficult to defeat directly. Even after the magic power stored in Divine Machine Sky is completely consumed, the victory may drop by more than 10%. Fortunately, the third stunt that just awakened, Dispatch of Detained Spirits, was powerful enough. He actually suppressed this ancient curse into his own puppet. However, the command Cursed Spirit is not the most powerful place of Dispatch of Detained Spirits. The true ability of Dispatch of Detained Spirits is that you can extract jujutsu that subdued the cursed spirit and become your own jujutsu. In other words, every time Ryuiki succeeds in cooling, he gets a powerful jujutsu. I hope you won't let me down. Ryuiki glanced at the long-haired cursed spirit in front of him, mutteringly. Slowly raised his left hand. A black spiral nest emerged in his hand. With endless suction, it broke out in an instant. The long-haired cursed spirit turned into a black air, without the slightest resistance, and was directly swallowed by the black spiral nest. Bang! A black air appeared on Ryuiki's body, and it surrounded him tightly. His eyes gradually became blurred. It seemed that countless images flashed crazily in Ryuiki's eyes. Looking forward to the return of the lover, the pain of being betrayed by the lover, the sorrow of being scolded by the world, the cursing of helpless being pressed on the ground, the resentment of being completely abandoned by the times. Everything disappeared quickly in front of Ryuiki's eyes. After a long time, the black air faded away. Ryuiki's eyes moved slightly. In an instant, he experienced all the causes and effects formed by the cursed spirit. From the Warring States period, the resentment and curse of countless abandoned women came from the curse of women's anger and sorrow that was destroyed by the war. So, love is the biggest curse in the world. Ryuiki's voice was long and his eyes flashed, as if he was thinking of a past that he didn't want to recall. Then he suppressed all emotions. Snapped. He stretched out his hand and snapped a crisp finger. The surrounding space floated slightly, and a strong and powerful hand appeared out of thin air, carrying a terrifying force, as if it could tear everything. Being able to repeat his own attacks countless times, appearing in any direction, it is worthy of being a special class. Ryuiki nodded in satisfaction. I am very satisfied with this ability. Although this ability is not a metamorphosis, once matched with Ryuiki's power like a steel behemoth, there will be an unimaginable chemical reaction. It's time to clean the room again. Ryuiki glanced at it with a headache. The ruined room was quite a headache. Sudden. Frowned. The eyes condensed slightly, only feeling a little strange in the body. Black aura emerged from the whole body, the palms spread out flat in the air, bursts of black aura condensed in Ryuiki's palms, with strong suction, constantly pulling Ryuiki body of. It seemed that something was dormant in Ryuiki's body. A black energy was suddenly pulled out of Ryuiki's body. It fell on the palm of his hand. This is. Ryuiki looked at her palm in surprise. A pocket monster measuring only 10 centimeters appeared in his hand. 8 heads and 8 tails, body erosion, snake eyes scarlet, covered with iron stones. Isn't it the 8 different snake that was swallowed by himself? Unexpectedly, this thing was not completely digested, but lost consciousness, turned into the most primitive essence and hid in Ryuiki's body. But I didn't expect to be discovered by dispatch of detained spirits. Incomplete curse, I can't sculpt the spirit. The curse of this 8-pointed snake is not complete, otherwise it won't let Ryuiki absorb it so easily, which Ryuiki has long known. Originally, I thought about devouring it. Now that the progress of 6 Immortal Thief Treasury is full, there is no need to look for other parts of it to devour it, but it's different now. If you can restrain the spirit, the 8-pointed snake, what kind of surprise this powerful curse that has been formed since the existence of Fusang can bring you. Ryuiki unconsciously had some expectations. Interesting, where are the other 2 cursed objects? Ryuiki rubbed his chin subconsciously. Forget it. Don't worry, before you find Baki Orochi, improve your progress. The dispatch of detained spirits that has just been unlocked is actually very limited. When facing the cursed spirit with strong strength in front of it, it may not be able to successfully restrain the spirit. At this point, the moment Ryuiki unlocked dispatch of detained spirits, he already had feelings in his heart. The super-class cursed spirit that was able to restrain the spirit was only successful due to various coincidences. If Ryuiki is now faced with a complete body of the Orochi, Ryuiki may be more than enough, but it would be a bit idiotic to say that I can hold the Orochi. The power of cursed spirit comes from the negative emotions of human beings. So in a sense, cursed spirit is an immortal existence. As long as the cursed spirit has always existed, they will continue to absorb human negative emotions and become stronger. No one has known what kind of terrible strength it would have if the 3 seals converge at the same time, like the curse that existed since the Baki Orochi has written records. But most of it will be as recorded in history books. There are giant beasts with 8 different names, and wherever they go, corpses are everywhere, yellow sand is all over the sky, mountains and rivers are broken, and rivers are half exhausted. Open the panel. A blue semi-transparent panel that only he can see appeared in front of Ryuiki's eyes. Divine Armament 100 refinements. Satisfactory current progress is 100%. 6 Immortal Thief Treasury. Successful, the current progress is 100%. Dispatch of detained spirits. Beginner, 5% of the current progress. Feng Huchi Men. Unlocked. Full Hand. Not unlocked. Tong Tien Talisman. Unlocked. Deluo Cave Temple. Unlocked. Origin of Qi. Unlocked. Only a special grade cursed spirit can increase the progress by 5%. Sure enough, the further 8 mysterious arts is, the more difficult it will be to improve the progress. Just like 6 Immortal Thief Treasury, if it weren't for Yuanlu's large experience baby, it would come to the door. I don't know how long it will take to reach the state of consummation. It looks like I'm really going to Tokyo. Ryuiki played with the beautiful jade in his hand. The curse had been completely removed by Ryuiki, and it was now reduced to an ordinary jade pendant. But it still exudes a faint green light, which is breathtaking. Going to Tokyo was originally planned by Ryuiki. After all, it is difficult for even the first-class cursed spirit to appear in a small place like Sugazawa. Compared to Tokyo and Osaka, the number of people in this place is too scarce. The cursed spirit was born in the negative emotions of human beings. The larger the population base, the stronger the cursed spirit was born. In order to strengthen his own strength, he had already made preparations to go to Tokyo. However, according to his original plan, he was going to Tokyo in a leisurely period of time, but since dispatch of detained spirits had been unlocked, he had no choice but to follow the boat. Base. A black shadow suddenly appeared at the window, passing by at an extremely fast speed. He appeared on the opposite side of Ryuiki in an instant. Sherhun sat on the sofa without hesitation. The beer in his hand hasn't been finished yet, and there is even a bit of froth on the corner of his mouth. It's solved so soon, boss. You are so embarrassed to say that for an employee like you, I'm already pretty good without deducting your salary. I actually let the boss do it himself. When she heard this, 3 black lines suddenly appeared on her head. Nima, have you seen such a boss? Give 3 coins as salary in 1 month. Special salary deductions. Sheer really didn't hold back, and rolled his eyes at Ryuiki. Ryuiki looked completely unaware. He focused his attention on the figure at Sheer's feet. We are the house of everything, not a triad. What do you do when you catch someone back? Ryuiki waved his hand in disgust when looking at the figure that was rolling like a worm at Sheer's feet. Ah, you say him. He is sneaking around the door. Maybe he attracted all your enemies. This guy is from Master Curse's side. What is it called? She frowned slightly, thinking hard about the name of the man at his feet. After a long while, he said with a mouthful of white teeth. Sorry, remembering the name of the ant is still a difficult thing for me. It is true that Cher's words are very arrogant, but he does have the proud capital. Although like the curse teacher, the bounty hunter is still not a visible profession. Can stand at the apex of all bounty hunters and despise everything like an emperor. Heaven and tyrant, Fuhaisher, he is qualified to say this. I can't stand you. How old you are still so second. Ryuiki glanced at Shire with disgust. Fingers moved slightly, and a cold light appeared immediately. Drifting, the cold light flashes in an instant. All the ropes that Sheer bound to the man broke. The dark blue dagger returned quietly to Ryuiki's back. But the icy chill that radiated from the blade made Cher's gaze immediately attracted. First class. No, it's special class. Superior. The untied truth couldn't help exclaiming. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.